And the new IBF heavyweight champion of the world, Anthony Joshua. Congratulations to AJ, on a good win. He's won the IBF heavyweight title now. He's now champion. And, it makes him an even bigger star in the UK and worldwide now. He's one of the biggest names this country has at this current moment in time. Probably he is the biggest, I'd say. And he just continues to grow his brand, grow, and his popularity just soars through the roof. First off, there's a lot of things to talk about in regards to this fight and where they both go from here. Firstly, the ring walk was fantastic. It really set the scene for both Charles Martin and AJ, and it was a really good spectacle, like really, really good. Credit to Eddie Hearn and Sky Sports for that production. The fight itself, I mean, AJ came out, looked strong, looked more athletic, looked a bit faster, a bit more snappier, and he looked good. Uh, he obviously knocked Charles Martin down first time, and Charles Martin really he struggled. He struggled to beat the count. I think the referee gave him the benefit of the doubt, and he was really unsteady there. And after the first knockdown, the second knockdown, it wasn't so bad. I didn't think it was as bad. I don't know if the desire went out of him. He thought it was in a tougher fight than he expected to be in. He didn't beat the count. He got up on 10, and I thought the count was not necessarily quick as well. So it'd probably be about 12 seconds. I'd say 12, 13 seconds, and that's besides the point. But Charles Martin, I think in the second knockdown, I just think his will and his desire was kind of taken away from him by AJ, and AJ smiled and walked back to his the neutral corner, and he just thought it was easy. It was too easy for him. Obviously, this is going to raise questions about how good Charles Martin ever was. Of course, he got a third round TKO win over Vyacheslav Glaskov, and of course, obviously Glaskov done his knee in the third round. But Charles Martin actually looked good in that fight. In the first 3 rounds, I thought he controlled the range, controlled the pace of the fight, and he looked relatively good in those first 3 rounds against Glaskov. Of course, we would never know because Glaskov couldn't do the full 12 or however long the fight would have gone if one of them knocked each other out. But that was the only name, and that name was somewhat tainted in a way. And it was unfortunate that we couldn't see more of Charles Martin and to see his skills and how good he could possibly be. Of course, this fight as well, it didn't really show how good he could possibly be. And same with AJ, it doesn't actually show us anything more than he's got a lot of power and he's relatively, fast for a heavyweight. Of course, he's not David Hay lightning speed, but, he's fast enough. And I mean, it's tough to see where they go on that sort of performance. Of course, AJ's now world champion. You have Carlos Takam and Joseph Parker fighting in May next month to decide who the mandatory challenger will be. I think Parker will win that fight. It'll be a tough fight, but I think Parker will win. That mandatory will probably be around next year, January, but possibly April time. Depends on how the IBF and how stringent they are. And I mean, that's another good fight. Parker and Joshua over here, assuming Joshua doesn't lose his title anytime soon. Um, where this really rates someone like Anthony Joshua, it's very, very hard. I wouldn't be able to put an educated assumption on where he would be in my top 15, I'd say, heavyweight rankings. He'd possibly be just inside the top 15 based on having a belt, but I'd have to, go with a fine comb and kind of go and study it a bit more. Um, Charles Martin, what he does for him, he can come back. He's young. He's not necessarily old in terms of heavyweights as well. He's still got plenty of time. He just needs to, he needs to come into fights. Maybe I'd say slightly better conditioned. He didn't look in good condition. Work on a few areas, foot speed, hand speed a bit as well. Just minor tweaks to his game, and he could be better than how he fought in the fight against AJ. But as I said, we don't really learn anything. It's quite tough to judge where they're going to go from here. as I said, the next defense for AJ is very hard. I mean, you could possibly say he might go down the Chisora route if Chisora beats Pulev. Of course, he'll have a European title, but it won't be for anything. It'll be for a world title, a version of a world title again for Chisora if he does win. If he loses, I still think he might get the fight as well. They're talking about David Hay over here. That's a huge fight. Tyson Fury's been calling him out as well. He said he was slow and ponderous in the first round. So that's a potential fight with Tyson Fury. That would be a really good fight. Deontay Wilder is another fight. Unification if he comes through against Povetkin. That's another really close fight as well. So there's plenty of fights there for AJ. David Price is coming back. That could be a potential opponent. Of course, David Price, I don't think warrants a world title shot, but a big domestic dust up, get him out of the way. I think it would knock Price out. Price too chinny for me, but Price has that equalizer, and he could knock him out. You never know, especially after the second round Dillian White debacle. But yeah, there's a lot of potential there for someone like Anthony Joshua and his potential opponents. You never know who could be. He's still learning. He's only had 16 fights and he's won a world title. Let him grow, let him develop, and I commend the job that Eddie Hearn's done with him. Fantastic job that he's done with him. Sky Sports has really built around him as well. So kudos to them. Charles Martin, where he goes from here. It's a bit harder to say. He's coming off of the defeat. It would seem a bit more a tougher defeat to take. But it depends where he goes from here. I mean, Dominic Brazil's there, Gerald Washington's there, Amir Mansour's there. So they have a pool of heavyweights in the States. Could potentially face one of them on PBC. There's plenty there. They're all PBC. They're all PBC fighters. Amir Mansour comes a lot on PBC because he fights the Al Haymon fighters, and he doesn't get the decisions. But there's potentially a lot of fights there for Charles Martin, and he can get back on a comeback trail. Try and get some big fights and try and force himself into a mandatory if he keeps winning. As I said, he looked decent against Glasgow. I'm not going to discredit that win. As I said, it's hard to put a lot of emphasis on that win, but you have to give him some credit for it, especially how he boxed in the first 3 rounds. Same with AJ. First 2 rounds, he done relatively well against Charles Martin, and you can't take that away from him. He's now the new IBF heavyweight champion of the world, so that's something you can never take away from him. And what I said, it's onwards and upwards for AJ. Charles Martin can come again definitely, and he's got some skills, so he's there or thereabouts. He can come back. AJ, there's plenty of options there for him. Eddie Hearn, as I said, will make the right option. Will make him a lot of money, and the UK public will continue to get behind Anthony Joshua. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on potential opponents for the both. Where do they go from here? And what do you think? What do you think will happen? Do you think it'll be Price? Do you think it'll be Chisora, Hay, Fury, Wilder, Povetkin, even Vladimir Klitschko? There's so many opponents in the heavyweight mix now. Shannon Briggs is over in the UK as well, so there's a lot of options there. What do you guys think? Comment your thoughts down below. If you like the video, please give the thumbs up. Subscribe and share so it gets out to a larger boxing audience. And yeah, anything else, PM me, tweet me, just give me a shout. And yeah, take care, guys, and have a good day. Peace.